Okay, so today we're going to do some hot water irrigation tie-dye with our crock pot technique. I already tied up the shirt, stripped it down, washed it, stripped it down. There's no soda ash. I just want to point out a couple things. It's an extra large long sleeve. Right here's a peace sign. The top of the neck, the collar, the arms, down here at the bottom of the shirt. What I tried to do is use the grate to my advantage and stick this part of the shirt down in the grate so it doesn't touch on where we're going to have the peace sign. Initially, the first thing I'm going to do is just start spraying it down with some water. I use regular water, but you can use water that already has a soda ash mixture. And I'm just getting it wet, so when I lay down the dye on there, it sticks to the shirt better. And then you get better saturation of the dye because you're not losing all your dye running down into your reservoir bucket. So I'll finish spraying this down with the water and lay down the dye, and then we'll come back and continue from there. Okay, so I pretty much laid down the dye. I'll run through the colors for you. Got bright yellow, deep orange, fuchsia red, violet purple, turquoise blue, emerald green. We ran it down here too, the same emerald green, turquoise, purple, red, orange, yellow. For the body, we actually put on gold first, then we put on some bronze, and then we put on a little bit of black. And then for our main peace sign, we're actually using lime pop. So basically now, there's no soda ash still. Right now, we're just going to sprinkle on the soda ash lightly. If you put too much on it, it'll start to clump up. I don't know if you can see by the video, you can actually see when I sprayed it with water before I laid down the dye, you can see the dye absorbing into the shirt already. But if you put too much soda ash on, it's just going to clump up on you, where you want it to run through the shirt and not run down the shirt. As we go, I'll put some hot water on here and maybe put a little bit more soda ash. I'll use the whole third of the cup. But before I do that, I give it a good coverage. And I like to come back with my spray bottle, and I'll just come up from up above. You don't want to shoot it sideways because then you shoot it over everything else. Gonna let it just shoot from up above. I don't know if you can see that. That's good. I'll let it sit for a few minutes. Let the soda ash start absorbing in with the dye. And when I did lay down the dye, I did use this spoon here. And as I did put on my colors, I used the back of the spoon and pushed down the dye into the shirt. Went to the next color, put on the dye, pushed it down. Try to do a double coverage over the colors so you don't get no white. And pretty much now we're just going to take our turkey baster. We already got our water primed up in there. We actually took a gallon of hot water from the tap, the faucet, which is about 130 degrees. And we got it warming up in this crock pot. We're just going to start filling up our turkey baster, dropping it on top of our project, slowly and surely letting it saturate through. So pretty much we're ready to start applying our hot water. It's been sitting for 2-3 minutes. You can see the soda ash and the dye are still seeping down into the shirt. So now we're just going to help it along and push it. I got my safety glasses on because people don't realize when you're dealing with the hot water, you got them vapors coming up. And then once you got the hot water with the vapors and then you're hitting your soda ash, you got vapors with probably soda ash in it. So we're just going to start applying our hot water slowly at first. I like to do the yellow first because hold the color. Try not to run the other dye, the orange, into the yellow to keep it fully yellow. Show you what I mean. Like over here, I'll start with the yellow, try to push it down into the orange, and then push the orange down into the red. You can see it going down through the shirt. Just take your time at first. And then once you got some water in there saturating it through, then you can go a little faster. Here's the purple, into the blue, into the green. I'll just continue doing that till it's done. Over here for the peace sign, I like to do the peace sign first. You can see that. Seems to help it make it come out better, because if you already got the shirt dyed there, the other colors don't want to take over as much. Get this nice and saturated with water. Up here, you got a little separated in between the peace sign. We just hit it with a little bit of water and let it sit, and then we'll go back over here to our yellow. And we'll just continue doing the whole shirt. Check it out when we got it all ready to go. Okay, so we got our second gallon of water in our crock pot staying warm. Now usually what we do with the rest of the soda ash is we're going to sprinkle it over top the shirt. Very lightly. If you let this sit a few minutes, sometimes some of the dye shows up, and then you know, hey, I got to concentrate on that area more, getting the dye saturate through the shirt. Right here you can see some of the soda ash sucking up some of the dye, absorbing the dye. Here's a little bit there. I usually use that as an indicator to keep on going, keep applying more water. You could easily flip it over, do the other side, but we tried this to saturate it through the one side. And we'll just continue on. We'll probably use about 3 gallons, and next time I see you, we'll have the revealing.